Did you ever see that Black Mirror episode where two tech giants kept agitating each other with their businesses so much that they decided to have an MMA cage match to settle it once and for all? Oh wait, no, that's real life. Life is a Black Mirror episode now. I'll be honest, I thought this whole Mark Zuckerberg versus Elon thing was a joke, but all these new developments in the past couple of weeks, like Llama 2 and Threads, prove that these two are arch enemies. Oh, and let's not forget that picture of Mark Zuckerberg training. With Meta stealing so much of the limelight from Elon Musk, there was only one thing left for the billionaire to do: announce that his xAI company had assembled its own team of X-Men and that it was ready to roll. On this episode of AI Wizard, we talk about how we got to the formation of the newest AI company on the block from Elon Musk himself. We'll look at what the company is aiming to accomplish, and we'll also take a look at the team of experts he's assembled. And you'll see why Elon might just have the most elite team in all of AI. And at the end, we'll be discussing the very real cage match happening between Musk and Zuck. So make sure you stick around. Before we get into xAI, it's best if you understand the drama behind the scenes. OpenAI was a non-profit founded in 2015 by a small group that included Elon Musk. The vision was to build AI that would benefit humanity and keep all its research open, as the name suggests. But by 2018, Elon was worried the company was falling behind Google and attempted to take control. He was rejected by the now CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, and President Greg Brockman, and pretty much everyone else too. Walked away from OpenAI completely, citing a conflict of interest with his other company, Tesla. But we all know he was butthurt because he took away the $1 billion he pledged to the organization when he left. He ended up only giving $100 million. This was a problem because this new tech was racking up some serious bills. In response, OpenAI teamed up with Microsoft for funding on a move that turned the company's original vision on its head. What was once in the open and non-profit was now done in secret and for profit. What was once an attempt at creating beneficial systems for humanity had turned into creating the best product for consumption. In OpenAI's defense, they needed money, and so they're really at the mercy of whatever Microsoft wants to do with their tech, since they're the ones supplying the bag. In February, Musk tweeted that OpenAI has become a closed-source, maximum profit company effectively controlled by Microsoft, adding that this was not what I intended at all. He even advocated for a 6-month pause in AI after the release of OpenAI's GPT-4.
I think we need to regulate AI safety, frankly, because it is, I think, actually a bigger risk to society than cars or planes or medicine.
But many speculated it was so that he could catch up. And they were right. In no time, he had announced his xAI company, and it wasn't until this month that he released the mission of his retaliatory efforts. The goal of xAI is to build an AGI with the purpose of trying to understand the universe, as the website says. And Elon says the safest way to build it is to make it curious and truth-seeking. The reason he wants to make it curious is to use that curiosity as sort of a defense for humans. According to Elon, humanity is more interesting than the absence of it. Therefore, if humanity is interesting and AGI is curious, it won't destroy us, but instead be enamored by us. This idea only works if you think humans are the most interesting thing in the universe. What if there are more interesting things than us? Or at least things equally as interesting? What then? Those questions have no answers right now, but the mission is clear: an eventual superintelligence that can understand everything. Companies like xAI and OpenAI want to solve the complex issues of our world, like climate change, how the brain works, and all the secret mysteries of life. xAI says they're specifically going to do this. They haven't said how, but it's their mission. Now we'll look at Elon's X-Men of AI, 11 AI experts who have already contributed groundbreaking advancements to the world of AI. Elon handpicked them from each of his rivals and probably promised more money than they could fit on a yacht full of suntanned women. I generated AI art to represent each of them because I felt it'd be a nice touch. So without further ado, let's meet the team. First, there's Igor Babushkin, codename Russian Roulette. Igor first had a career in physics and worked with the Large Hadron Collider. He later fell in love with AI after seeing DeepMind's work on AlphaGo. Igor quickly joined DeepMind and worked on their AlphaStar project. Later, he moved to OpenAI to develop GPT 3.5. Igor and Elon both share a passion for physics that fuel their desire to seek the truth through AI. Enter Jimmy Ba, codename Professor X. He's a professor at the University of Toronto who's touched every aspect of deep learning with his research, making him a leader in the field. His goal is to build general-purpose machines to help humanity overcome our most challenging problems and ultimately empower everyone. Tony Polin, codename Audi. He's the German engineer who has been coding since a child. When he became an adult, his research focused on computer vision. He then joined DeepMind 6 years ago, where he focused on reinforcement learning, and today hopes to create tools that will benefit humanity. Next is Kyle Kosick, codename GPTX. He's a distributed systems engineer at xAI. He also started in math and applied physics and found himself working for a variety of tech startups. He eventually ended up at OpenAI, where he worked on GPT-4. He states the biggest danger of AI is the monopolization of AI. Kyle believes the way to combat this danger is to introduce competition. He hopes to focus on the engineering and safety issues of AI without being sidetracked by social and political issues. Then there's Christian, codenamed the Math Whiz. For the past 7 years, his passion has lied in creating AI that's as good at math as any human. The core understanding of math and logic to Christian would mean that the AI has its own understanding, and that it's not just emulating humans. The sixth member of the team, Tony, codenamed Mathman, shares the same goal as Christian. The pair are long-term collaborators who have a real thing for math. At Google, they built Minerva, which is able to achieve higher than average scores on high school exams. Seventh is Greg Yang, codenamed DJ Neural, who works on the math and science of deep learning. Greg is a very interesting case. He started out undergrad at Harvard, but quickly became bored, dropping out after 2 years and becoming a dubstep producer and DJ. His path led him into life's deepest questions of what free will is and how quantum physics factor into the fabric of reality. He ultimately realized that what he wanted to do was to create an AGI that could answer these questions and more, and that math was the key. He went back to school, graduated, and got a job at Microsoft Research, where he has contributed vital work in large-scale neural networks. Next is Manuel Croix, codenamed ML Manuel. This guy was at DeepMind for 6 years, working on engineering in the reinforcement learning department. He joined the team to create tools that everyone can share, and hopes this effort creates a new team of researchers that didn't exist before. Next is Guodong Zhang, codenamed Large Language Man. Guodong is an expert in tuning and aligning large language models, and he's a machine learning and computer science whiz whose name can be found on countless AI papers. Number 10 is Zihang Dai, codenamed New Day. He's worked at Google on transformer architecture and is focused on how to apply this tech to the real world. Simply put, there are things that he doesn't understand, and he wants to build things that will help him understand it. And it's his belief in consistency and hard work that will fuel his efforts. Number 11 and last on the list is Ross Nordin, codenamed Musketeer. He's built distributed systems everywhere from Palantir to Tesla to Twitter, and now he'll be bringing his talents to a third Elon company, xAI. He possesses a passion for learning, which fuels his desire to work at xAI to answer life's biggest questions. 11 people may seem small, but OpenAI started small too, and xAI is starting with some of the best to ever do it. Imagine starting a new basketball expansion team in today's NBA, and you manage to recruit Trae Young, Nikola Jokic, Drew Holiday, Anthony Davis, and Paul George. You would have assembled a team of superstar players who have either won a championship or are championship caliber. And that's what Elon did in this AI league. But why these men left companies like OpenAI, whose mission is to develop superintelligence in a way that benefits humanity, isn't completely clear. I mean, it has to be money, right? Or is there something else? Before we continue, if you're enjoying this content and want to stay updated on all the latest AI news, please feel free to subscribe to the channel and help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers. It'll really help the channel out. Now back to the video. Maybe the unknown is enough to attract a team of some of the most brilliant minds in the space. But what are the fundamental questions this team hopes to answer with AGI or superintelligence? One is the question of just where the heck the aliens are if they exist. Surely a highly advanced civilization would have visited us by now, so why haven't they? This is called the Fermi paradox. There are 3 explanations that attempt to answer this question currently. The first explanation is that life itself is just extremely rare. The second explanation is that life is not rare, but that intelligent civilization is just extremely rare. The third explanation is that life is not rare and intelligent civilizations aren't rare. It's just that all the other ones are primitive and haven't caught up to us yet. If this is the case, this means that all life ends up destroying itself before it becomes advanced enough to venture out. This means we'd be about due to destroy ourselves. I personally disagree with all of this. I have my own views that start with the fact that we have actual evidence of extraterrestrial visits, but they're a whole other video for a very different algorithm. Regardless, Elon says you can't call anything AGI until it solves at least one fundamental question, because humans have solved plenty of fundamental questions. Between the stress of OpenAI not doing what he wanted them to do and all this Threads nonsense from Meta, Elon is ready to just throw hands. So much so that he challenged Zuckerberg to a cage match last month. This seemed like another one of Elon's snarky jokes, but Zuck didn't take it as such. Zuckerberg actually texted Dana White, the owner of the MMA giant UFC, and asked whether Elon was serious about throwing said hands. Dana called Elon, who said he was really serious, and Zuckerberg posted "send me location" on IG, a callback to Khabib, the MJ of MMA. Since then, Dana White has been on the phone with them separately, ironing out the details, and they apparently really want to fight. Honestly, if I were a social media company owner, I would probably love to smack a guy who keeps stealing everyone's social media ideas and branding them as his own too. The fight would be an exhibition match and outside of the jurisdiction of the UFC, but Dana White would help produce the event. There would be a charity component and would most likely happen in Vegas, though Elon said it could also happen in the Roman Colosseum. Actually, I could also see why someone would want to smack him too. If 52-year-old Musk and 39-year-old Zuck go at it, it will go down as one of humanity's most bizarre moments. What's even more unusual is the fact that Musk is 70 pounds heavier than Zuck. The Meta CEO has bulked up over the past 18 months, however, and has been learning the grappling martial art of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, where he's already won gold and silver medals in competition. Dana White says Zuckerberg is dead serious about MMA. Elon, on the other hand, says he almost never works out and once suffered a back injury from a match with a sumo wrestler. That sounds about right. He says he's trained in judo, kyokushin, and no-rules street fighting. I think he forgot about tables, ladders, and chairs matches. Basically, these two have had it and they want to beat the crap out of each other. It will have absolutely no impact on the state of AI or their companies, but I guess sometimes you just don't like someone. What do you think about xAI? Is it the next best thing? Let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, click that video on the screen to watch something you haven't seen, and thanks for visiting AI Wizard.